Hey everybody, my name is Nick Jordan. I'm a co-founder at Workello, and Workello helps content teams build a consistent stream of high quality, affordable writers on autopilot. In the next couple of minutes, you're going to see exactly how we do it. Now, if you've ever hired writers before, you know this, but in case you haven't hired writers before, let me walk you through why it's so painful. So one of the big issues is that most of the candidates you're going to receive are unqualified, and it doesn't matter what hiring channel you use or what marketplace you use. And it doesn't matter if they claim that they pre-vet and only accept the best writers, because they all suffer from the same fundamental problem. Good writers are hired out faster than these platforms can replace them with new good writers. And regardless of their intentions, over time, all hiring platforms will trend towards generally unqualified candidates. Now, the next big problem is that when you receive a great looking candidate with an awesome portfolio, oftentimes that portfolio has been heavily edited by a third-party editor, especially if they're sending you a portfolio of published work. Published work always goes through an editor. And when you're reading their portfolio, it's never clear how much editing it took to make the content publishable. And oftentimes it's a completely rewrite. So you hire a writer with a great portfolio. They give you a first draft. It's nothing like what you were expecting. Now, every step is manual. It takes 10 to 15 discrete actions to bring a candidate from application submitted to hired. And because every step is manual, you're just not going to evaluate many candidates. And if you only evaluate 5, 10, a handful of candidates, what ends up happening is you hire the least worst. There was a lot of work to go through that hiring cycle. You want to hire at least someone, but the person you hired isn't a great fit, and they're going to resign or be terminated, and they're going to walk out the door with your blood, sweat, and knowledge transfer. And then lastly, the lack of systems is really chaotic. It's chaotic for you, it's chaotic for your hiring manager, and it's chaotic for candidates. And you don't know this yet, but your best candidates are dropping out of your funnel before you have a chance to test them, because if you're unorganized on the front end, you're going to be unorganized on the back end. Your best candidates are applying to multiple jobs, they're being considered by multiple employers, and they want to work for a great team. So I'm going to walk you through the overall process very quickly. Then we're going to see what the setup process looks like, what it's like from a candidate perspective, and then finally from the employer perspective. So Workello is pre-optimized for you based off of our own experience evaluating thousands of writers and hiring hundreds. That means your job description, your writing test, and your candidate notification emails are ready to go, which means you're set up and ready to start accepting candidates within 3 minutes of registering for Workello. The very next step is to distribute your job ad across the internet. Depending on what kind of writers you want, will dictate where you hire them. And we have a bunch of hiring resources on the hiring channels that we use to build our content team. Candidates will find your job ad that you've distributed across the internet, and they will complete their application on Workello. And once they complete their application, candidates start streaming into your hiring dashboard, and everybody is sorted by status, so you know exactly what to do next. Once candidates are in your hiring dashboard, that's it. There's no more fumbling across apps. Everything is done via point and click to reject, point and click to test, interview, send an offer. It's all done through your hiring dashboard by pointing and clicking. Workello includes an automated pre-screen test to screen out those candidates with good portfolios that are actually terrible writers before you hire them and before you pay for work that you can't use. Workello also includes a candidate status page, and this is important because when you have hundreds of candidates, you get dozens of questions. Now, 95% of the people asking questions, you're not going to hire, and answering them is a waste of time. But if you don't answer every question you get, the 5% who are qualified to work for you and ask a question won't take your writing test unless you answer it. And so you either have to answer everybody, or you have to be okay with your best candidates dropping out of the funnel before you have a chance to test them. And Workello's candidate status page tells the candidates exactly where they are, what happens next, and how long it will take to stop those questions before they're asked. An entire experience is optimized like a sales funnel. In a normal hiring cycle, of the hundreds of candidates you get, you only need 1 or 2 good writers for it to be a successful hiring cycle. And everything from email deliverability to the entire candidate experience is optimized to get those top 5% of your candidates engaged and invested in finishing your hiring process, taking your tests, so you can send them an offer. So let me show you how easy it is to get up and running with Workello. So we're going to ask you a couple questions so we know who you are. And the reason we want to know who you are is because we want to know what your biggest challenges are. What we found is that no one particularly cares about hiring writers. It's just one of the many challenges that they have on their journey to creating a content team that publishes high quality content consistently. And so we can help unblock you on those other challenges that you're going to face after you build your content team. How do you rank content, etc. So we use the information that you provided in the last step to pre-populate your job ad. This is the job ad that we actually use to hire writers today. Down here, we have the test. This is also the test that we use to test writers. And the test is a careful balance between comprehensiveness and, not hiring bad candidates, but it's also optimized to be easy to take. This test should be able to be done in less than 20 minutes. And this is important when we're asking people to do free work. It's all carefully crafted for you and optimized across thousands and thousands of candidates. Same thing with the application. It's pre-configured. It's made to be easy. Get the writers in your system, build trust, and then send them a test. And then here's the candidate notification emails. Every time you update a candidate status, it triggers an email telling them what to do next. And this is all pre-written for you. And again, it's optimized to get people to click your link, take your test. All right, this is the last step before we're ready to hire writers. And you're going to drop your Calendly link here because when you want to interview a writer, it's going to be done through your calendaring service. Okay, cool. We are done. This is what the candidate experience looks like. Candidates land here. They complete the application. And what ends up happening is that candidates apply for dozens of jobs all at the same time. It takes you a little bit to evaluate their portfolio and send them a test. And so this job details page reminds them of who you are and why they applied to begin with. They can check out your website and all of your social profiles to see how cool of a brand you are and why you're the best place they could possibly spend their career. We have the candidate status page, and this tracks them through the funnel and lets them know exactly what they're going to need to do next at each stage. And then we have the integrated writing test within the app as well. So let's look at the experience from an employer's perspective. So this is the account that we use to build our content team. And whenever an applicant finds your application and applies, they're going to appear here. Our hiring team went through here earlier today, and so there's no applications that we have not yet reviewed. So when you get an applicant, you can click their name to see their portfolio and all the information that they provided in the application form. And this is the status. To move a candidate from status to status is very easy. You just change it. Now, right now we have 48 candidates who we've sent tests to, and we're waiting to receive the test back. Once we receive the test back, your candidate status will change to test submitted, and they will appear here. And by clicking this link, we can see the test that they provided and whether they're a good fit to move to the next stage. If we do want to move them to the next stage, we would invite them to an interview, and that would send them an email with your Calendly link to book time to interview. And that's literally it. 3 minutes in, you have the hiring funnel that we spent thousands of hours and hundreds of thousands of dollars building, optimize, and iterating on day one.